Hey everyone, it's CL and November is only a couple days away, and I thought I'd go ahead and post up my TBR for November as I'm going to be participating in two readathons, which is Tome Topple, which I will link down below in the description box if you want to check out that announcement video, which starts on November 18th, I believe. And I will be participating in Nonfiction November, where there's no set guidelines really. There are a couple challenges if you wanted to challenge yourself, but for the most part the goal for November is to read as much nonfiction as you can and to get you to read more nonfiction, because let's face it, a lot of booktubers, we mainly focus on fictional books. So I'm going to go ahead and share with you all my TBR that I have lined up for November, and so I'll go ahead and start with my Tome Topple TBR, and I believe the kind of guideline is to read books that are over 500 pages or more. So since we are reading some pretty chunky books, I only have 3 books on my TBR for Tome Topple, and I think the readathon lasts 2 weeks, is it? I don't remember if it's a week or 2 weeks. I want to say 2 weeks. But don't quote me on that. Definitely check out the announcement video. But what I plan on reading is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. And this is one that I've been wanting to read. And I did show this in my haul video. And full disclosure, I did read 14 pages. And then I realized that Tome Topple was coming up. So I stopped reading so I can save this book for the week of Tome Topple. So I'm hoping to get through this. This is going to be my priority for the Tome Topple readathon, and I expect it to be very good. I hope that it's not hyped for me. I hope that it lives up to my expectations. So yeah, the next book I'm going to be reading is Department 19 by Will Hill, and this is one of the books that I picked up in my 10-cent book haul. This book only cost me 10 cents. It got really great reviews, and it is about vampire hunters. That's all I know. I know it's about vampire hunters. I could read more about it in the synopsis, but I really want to stay surprised. And the last book I'm going to read for Tome Topple, which I just picked up today, is the sequel to the Illuminae series, which is Gemina. And yeah, I fully expect to get through this fairly quickly. If I remember the first book, I want to say the first book I got through in a day, maybe it was a day or two. So I fully expect to be able to read this pretty quickly. It's kind of chunky, but again, it has to do with like case files. It's not your standard book of fiction, so I'm really looking forward to it. I've heard people say that they really liked it, so looking forward to reading this. And one of the things that I'm going to be doing differently with my readathons, in particular for Tome Topple, is that I normally will make like a reading schedule in my bullet journal and will have my reading scheduled laid out that way. But for this readathon for the month of November, I'm going to try to put my reading schedule in this app called Wunderlist. And I was introduced by that app by Giselle Rhodes from the Rhodes blog, and I think her booktube channel is still called Giselle Bradley. I'm not sure. I will link her down below, but she's one of my favorite vloggers and booktubers, as well as her husband Chris, so definitely check her out. But she introduced me to this app called Wunderlist, and it's really convenient to keep like lists and such. So for myself, I'm going to try to post my reading schedule on this list, and as I hit my goal for the day, I'm going to just like check it off, and it looks like this. It looks like this here. I'm not sure you're really going to be able to see it because there is kind of a glare, but essentially I have listed out all the days starting from when the readathon begins, November 18th, and I listed out what book I am going to be reading. I listed out what page I want to get to complete that goal for the day, and as I complete my goals, I will just check off the box on the list to keep track of my reading schedule that way. So this is the first time I'm using the app instead of my bullet journal, so I am curious to see how it will turn out. Now for my nonfiction November readathon TBR, I don't have a strict TBR. My goal is to read as much nonfiction as I can, and I'll kind of just pick up books as I come across them. As I start finishing books, I will just kind of go onto overdrive and search the nonfiction books that they have on there. But I do have like a rough TBR that's not too strict, not necessarily that I'll stick to it, but some books that have kind of caught my attention that I might read for Nonfiction November. And one of the first books is The Book of Joy by the Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu. And if they have some sort of secret to happiness and joy, I absolutely want to know what they have to say. So I think I will actually listen to this audiobook, The Book of Joy. There's this book called The Opposite of Spoiled, and from the synopsis, it's kind of teaches you how to teach your child about finances, and that's something I think is very important. Teaching my child about finances, about the importance of money, just so I can plant that foundation that money does not grow on trees. You actually have to work very hard to earn money to buy material things, that it's important to have like savings. So I'm interested in learning what I can teach my child about finances. There's a book called The World According to Star Wars, and from what I can gather, it takes like the Star Wars franchise and storyline and kind of gives you tips on like everyday life, like parenting and life obstacles. So I am curious how they're going to tie in Star Wars and like life lessons. So definitely one that's on my radar, that if I can get to it, I want to get to it eventually, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to get to it during Nonfiction November. Now there's two books that caught my attention regarding fleeing North Korea, and it's called 1,000 Miles to Freedom, Escaping North Korea, and there's another book called In Order to Live. These are books that I've seen on Overdrive, which it does catch my interest because we know so little about North Korea. So these types of books I'm really interested in, just to learn more, just to be aware and learn more, you know. So that is kind of my rough layout of the books that I plan on reading in November. I do plan on vlogging. It might not be every day, but I might post like for Nonfiction November, I might post like a weekly vlog of how I did that week. For Tome Topple, I might just post the same, probably do like a weekly vlog for Tome Topple as well, but I'm gonna play it by ear. I definitely plan on posting something. So if you are participating in Nonfiction November and Tome Topple, either or, please let me know down below in the comments if you are participating, what you plan on reading. And yeah, so that is what I have for now. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later, and I'm looking forward to seeing all you people out there to participate with me. So see you later.